was interesting. It rained on our heads. I couldn't get back to the shop because the gas card didn't want to work for some reason. Apparently, it got reported stolen.
What?
And it was a new card, too, that they handed to me.
Huh.
Interesting
I
day.
wonder who stole it.
Fuck if I know.
It was like you get back.
The cops are here.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's like the cops had a couple of questions for you.
Oh, no shit. You gave me this
Like,
shit.
you gave me the car. I don't know what he's talking about, officer.
I quit.
It's like, look. If you just needed to lay me off, just say don't come in tomorrow. You don't have to
Right.
make up this elaborate reason to get me out of here.
Right.
It's like just because you need to cut off some workload doesn't mean I need to go mess up my record.
We just they lost a dude that had been there for a year just about. Another dude had to take leave for a family issue.
Oh, how'd they lose him?
The guy just decided to move on.
He's like, yeah, that's about enough of this.
Yeah, basically.
I've seen these 4 seasons. I think I've had enough.
Yeah, I think he put in like a month to notice too.
Oh no.
You know, trying to set a good example for the place, I guess.
I suppose.
I had a question for you.
What you got?
Now, I know you're into rap. I know you got your own rap stuff. Are you into the history of rap?
I mean, when you spend enough time in there and you hear enough stories, you do become involuntarily well versed in the history to an extent. You would have to actively seek it out to actually, really get in on it. Why?
I was curious about where rap actually started.
Oh, started?
Yeah.
New York was the first thing that popped up in my head. Let me look.
I would figured more of the southern states would be where it started.
Why?
Because I feel like there's a lot more to talk about down there, more history to be poetic about.
What history?
You know whatever I'm talking about.
Rap wasn't the blues. There wasn't like a definitive tone to hit when you were rapping. Yeah, New York City. It was New York.
Somewhere along the way, you did remember it, just not quite for sure.
Right. It's like I don't know why New York just popped up in my head, but no, I just looked it up. It was New York. But one thing that I did wonder about, whenever I hear about Black history in America, it always has something to do with the South. And I've been more curious now more than ever. What was going on in the northern states? It's like there were Black people in the northern states, right? It's like what was going on up there? Maybe I heard about it in my school years, but it has slipped my mind.
Probably because there's more emphasis on what's going on in the South.
Well, people love bad news. That's what makes news sell. People don't want good news. They want bad news. They want tragedy.
No. It's not that they don't want good news. It's
Please.
that good news doesn't sell as much.
That's like saying the same thing twice.
But good news is still That's how I'm saying that good news is still welcomed.
No, is it really? It's almost like you said the same thing twice. People don't. People want good news. It just doesn't sell. If it was selling, people would be getting the good news. If it's not selling, that's them not getting the good news. It's like, oh, good news?
But the way you had it put made it sound like no one wants good news at all. It's just bad news all the time.
Bad news is bad. I mean, that's what sells. It's like the things that go viral on the internet. It's normally the most outlandish thing. It's not the best. It's not good. It's normally the most outlandish, wild, or sometimes flat out bad. It's like, could you tell me who hosts the Oscars when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock?
Nope.
Everybody knows about the slap. Nobody knows dick about the Oscars, which was actually supposed to be a really good shining moment for whoever was nominated for an award or whoever won an award.
Not many people care so much for the Oscars anymore in the first place.
That's a good point, but at the same time, it was bad news that put the Oscars on the map this time.
I do agree with you. Like I said, like it sells more. I get that. I'm not arguing that at all. I'm just saying it's like good news, is also welcome.
I mean, yeah, I welcome good news. So I welcome good news, but somehow it's like somehow it just doesn't stick the landing. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. Somehow good news just doesn't stick the landing quite like a catastrophe.
I mean, no one sticks around to watch a train go by safely on the tracks. They definitely stick around when the train wrecks, though.
Oh yeah, it's like it's gonna derail. It's derailing. Oh,
It's like, oh my, it's got a hunchback. Damn, girl. It's trying to throw it back.
chill out. um,
Well,
I,
to be fair, if a train is wrecked, there, wherever you were going in the first place, you're not getting that going in that direction anymore.
mm. I was having some rough thoughts during the stream this morning.
Oh,
Yeah, it was like it was some stuff that I didn't really want to do on the stream. It's like, everybody's first waking up, this, that, and the third, fresh morning. Like, why would I bog you down with some heavy stuff? It's like, say good morning, get up, stretch, brush your teeth, your breath stinks.
hmm.
Things of that nature. Get ready, start the day. But yeah, the first thought that I had was, it's like I guess I was just kind of like pondering different type of oxymoronic type things. Is that a word? Oxymoronic?
An oxymoron. I'm not sure about oxymoronic. Let me look that up.
Let me see.
I would imagine that that would have to be a word.
It's like, yeah, an oxymoron.
Can a phrase be oxymoronic?
Cultural tourism is close to being an oxymoronic phrase. Okay, oxymoronic.
Oxymoronic, the two words used having or seeming to have opposite meanings.
Yeah, an oxymoron. But I was having like, kind of like, I was looking at parts of the world that I could see kind of being like an oxymoron. Like, I want to make sure I word it. I want to make sure I word it correctly. Why do women say that they're not property, but they treat themselves like they are property?
I think you would require some examples to
The example
further.
that I have is that it's like when you have a product that you're trying to put on the market, you try and gussy it up and make it look as good as possible, and there is a price on it, and a lot of the doors, a lot of the gates into these women's lives and having them be a part of your life has a definitive monetary price tag attached to it. They will literally say that you need to be making a certain amount of money to be able to afford them. It's like, oh, you can't afford me. And what's worse is even if you can at first, and then down the line you can no longer afford them, they will flat out repo themselves. They will repossess themselves and dip.
I think there's a difference between what a person says and what a person does. How often that little conundrum pops up a lot. Like say when a smoking parent will be sitting in their house or on the porch smoking their cigarette, looking at their child and saying, "Don't do this. This gonna give you cancer," and continue to smoke. It's like do as I say, not as I do, sort of deal.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that follows the same logic as to what you're describing. Whenever women say, "Don't treat me like an object. I'm not just a piece of meat." On the other hand, you have to afford me, have to be able to afford me. And that being able to afford almost sounds like prostitution if you think about it long enough.
Yeah, but
Not even that long.
that starts to muddy the waters, though. That it no, it's no, it's like it starts to muddy the water. It's like you're not gonna be able to get far in any conversation that like starts off with what I said, piggybacks into what you said, and then still tries to land somewhere productive.
Because of that damn demonizing of words in general. It's like so. It's bad enough that words, any sort of words, can have negative connotations besides just having a meaning attached to it. It's like more emphasis. There's more emphasis on the word rather than the context surrounding it, surrounding the word.
If only people could just rock with the statement as a whole for a second, long enough to let it sink in and just kind of like look at it from that point of view and be like, oh, I see what he's saying. Yes, it sounds jagged. It sounds as jagged as the Rocky Mountains.
E.
But it's like I'm trying to address this thing that I've seen. It's like, and I need other people's help to help me address it. He's like, it kind of looks like this. It's like, why are you choosing to look at it like that? It's like, well, is it wrong? Is that not kind of like what they do? Another one that I was looking at, and it's about as crass and ugly and jagged as the one that I just said. It was why does the black community scream at the top of their lungs that their lives have value, but turn around and treat black lives as if they are totally worthless, whether it be the next black person next to them or their own life as they live it? I was trying to keep my spirits up during the stream, but boy, I was bogged down. I was bogged down.
Yeah, if this topic was floating in your mind, I can understand why.
It's like it's all in the action, and it kills me because what you're saying is like, what does it really mean to live in the upside down, where you have these people screaming at the top of their lungs the exact opposite of what their actions are, and actually expect there to be some significant outcome? It's like actions always spoke louder than words.
Right.
So why is it now so important what you say and not what you do?
Do you think it's easy to take an action on the internet?
Say it again.
Do you think it's easy to take an action on the internet?
Do I think it's easy to take an action on the internet?
Like use the internet as a way to showcase your actions.
Hmm. Use the internet as a way. Hmm. What, you showing like the end result of your action or something? Like what do you mean?
Well, let's see. In the first bits of internet, it all started out as nothing but text, lines of code, and that sort of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever people started using the internet in order to communicate, it was just through the texted words. And
Okay.
it slowly evolved into having easier interactions through words and mostly words. Even like on YouTube these days, a lot of what's going on, like podcasts, YouTube, through the different social media sites like Facebook or Instagram, maybe
Mm-hmm.
less so Instagram. A lot of the communication is just through words. And I'm wondering if maybe it's like the few platforms that do help a person showcase actions, what they do you think that there's more in line on the internet to help a person just communicate through words rather than actions?
Yeah, I really don't see the internet as a place of action when you put it like that.
And on that point, it's like the only place you can really find anyone's actions are through anyone else catching it and posting it up as a
On
video
the internet, right. Hmm.
or TikTok.
Ugh.
But even then, a lot of that is not scripted, but like actions that are picked and chosen to be posted and shown to the world. Just a small divergent. But going back on it, it's like I do agree. It's like that's something I've grown up knowing for a long time is actions speak louder than words. That was something that they taught us like early in school, right next to the golden rule.
All the rules that got dismissed. The golden rule graveyard.
Ah,
Wait,
like those are some good rules.
what was it? Treat others how you want to be treated.
Right.
No.
Unless, and then that got changed to, but only if you really want them to like you. Otherwise, damn them.
Only if you want them to
The rules started to get bent to fit someone's narratives, to fit someone's like true feelings. It's like the
Okay, okay,
rules
okay.
started to get mixed around.
So try and walk it through. At first, it was treat others how you want to be treated, period. And then there was an amendment treat others how you want to be treated. Only if you want them to like you, though. Otherwise, they can go to hell. And now, in present day, what is it now? He's like, you're fine. It's the world. It's like, you're actually fine. It's the world. If the world wants you, they need to conform to you.
I hate that fucking song
What?
just because of the lyrics. Is the one song where it says damn near that exact line. It's like you don't have
Really?
to change for the world changes for you.
You're lying.
I am not. I know I heard that bitch playing on the radio often.
Close your door.
But that requires me getting up, damn it.
He's like, you didn't say I'd have to move.
God damn it, do you know how hard it is to push a door as a ball? Kiwi, help.
Kiwi help. Hold on. You said
Like you don't have to change the world. The
the
world has to.
world has wait, the
I'm
world
talking
has to
all.
change for you. Let me know if you find the song. I came up dud.
Alicia Cara.
Who?
Scars to your beautiful.
Cars what?
Alicia. Alessia. Wait, shit. I can
Oh,
just link it to this.
Alicia Cara?
Hold on. I can just link it to you in Discord. Here. That's not.
Hold you down.
The fuck is this? I
What
said
is that?
copy. Oh, I said copy, damn it.
What is it? What is this that you sent me?
That's a different code for
Oh,
the MIDI
scars to
tape.
your beautiful. That's no wonder I ain't know what you were saying.
Right.
Scars to your beautiful. Okay, let me hold on. Let me check it out then. Scars. So, you know, maybe you've taken it out of context.
Maybe.
Let me see. Look. I can see they're going. It sounds like from all the lyrics in the first verse, it sounds like she's going from like strictly the physical aspect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hold on. Let me listen to a little bit more. I'm not a hold on. The world can change its
Um,
heart.
I'm re-listening to it myself, re-listening to it to see if I remember it correctly.
No scars to your beautiful. Okay, let me see. Did you hold on? Wait. I'm picking it apart now because I found the music video. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
I linked you the one video I found.
No, like I'm sharing my screen. Can you like see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the same one.
Yeah. So I'm picking this apart. Hold on. She said a lot of people aren't afraid to give their opinions, whether they're hurtful or not. Um, Given the context, I would hope you're not afraid to give your opinion.
I'm not sure if she's the one that is trying to give an opinion at all. I'm not
No, I think she's referring to other people.
right.
He's like, are you saying that people should not be able to give an opinion?
We don't get in that kind of context though. We have to
Hmm.
keep going.
All right. This is a this is an anthem. I'm gonna say that this is definitely an anthem. But I'm also gonna put on there that people can take this message and apply it in the wrong way.
I could certainly see that. It's like saying for those people that do decide that what they're doing that may be detrimental to their health or their mental state and thinking like, nah, this is the way I need to be. This is who I am. I should be proud of this.
Yeah, you can take it. People should be able to feel good about their existence. It's like, okay, so I guess you would let's take the beauty standard for example. It's like you see what the face of attractiveness is for us anyway, right?
To some extent, yes.
So you can kind of see is like, okay, this is a good looking person, this is an attractive person, this, that, and a third.
Right.
Just because that exists, just because you can see it, does not mean that you should feel bad about how you look in comparison. But if you take the message from this song and infuse it into the parts of the beauty standard that are also connected to health, you can end up doubling down on some things you shouldn't double down on.
Right.
You have to be able to separate those two things. Facial structure. Certain facial structures can make a person look more or less attractive. That ain't got nothing to do with health. You were born with that facial structure.
Right.
You have no control over it, and what you got is what you got. No, they have elective surgeries. But it used to be what you got was what you got. You have to be able to break up every different aspect of the beauty standard and see, it's like, well, that's attached to what you're born with. That's attached to what you're born with. That's attached to your eating choices. That's attached to it's like just different aspects. Like that's attached to whether you're exercising or not. It's like the things you can control and the things that are like not only connected to attractiveness but also connected to health. You have to be able to. It's like, well, this one's connected to multiple things, so I want to be on the healthy end of that.
Right.
But they're saying it's like you don't have to change a thing. Look, let's be Frank Sinatra about it. You can feel good about yourself and still have work that you need to do.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like a one size fits all. It's like I'm born in my perfect self, and as I just continue to exist like this, the rest of the world should just come to grips with me. There's too many choices that can be made in life for you to just be like, I made all the right choices, get used to me. He's like, no, sometimes you got to do a little extra work. And I mean, I would want to hear from people that did no work on themselves. I would want to hear from those individuals. From the time you were born, you made all of your choices and they were the correct ones off the rip, or you did some work. Where's the line where it's like, I'm done working on myself. I've built who I am, and that's who I'm gonna be. It's like, you can't say I was born like this and I'm just gonna stay like this. There's no way. You made a choice. It's like there were active choices you made to build out your character, your being, this, that, and the third. So if you ever did work, that means you can still do work. You don't have to change a thing. All your first choices weren't the best choice. I want to meet Jesus Christ. I want to meet Jesus Christ. The person that made every choice correctly from the rip.
Shoot, that would have been great.
Hmm?
Said that would have been great to find that person, but I don't think that.
Yeah, it's like it's like their whole life they never had to change a thing.
Bullshit.
See, that's the thing. The song is saying you don't have to change the thing. The world can change its heart. It's like, well, not necessarily. If you chose some bad options, you would continue to do the internal work and try to fix those things. And it's like, well, I shouldn't have to change. Well, you've already changed from where you were up to this point. You didn't come out like this.
No.
It's like, no, you had to set the tone. You were doing internal work as you were growing up. So what makes you believe you get to stop working? You think you have it all figured out? How old are you? No, it's like, just be real with me. Just be real with me. It's like, it's like you were making choices already. You were making changes as you were growing up, I hope. I want to meet the person that never made changes.
I think the only way you'll find that are people that didn't have a choice in the first place.
Comment section. It's like, if for any reason you've heard my voice and have not tried to cancel us, it's like, I swear I haven't said anything cancelable. It's like, if for any reason you've heard my voice and you're hearing this part, in the comment section, if you ever had to make a change, let us know what it was. And but more importantly, if you never had to make a change, I want to talk to you directly. Hop in the comment section. Somebody help lift the comment section up. If I find it, I'll pin it. I want to talk to this person directly.
Absolutely.
So I don't even know if we'll even make it a video. It might just be a personal talk off. It's like off the internet. It's like, nah, I need to talk to you.
It's like, look here, Sonny, we need to talk. I need to understand you for a minute because this shit don't make sense.
So it's like, I get this. This song is an anthem. It's like, it's gonna make people feel good, and that's good. I feel like, it's cool. People should be able to feel good.
Yeah.
It's like, the people that through every waking moment of their life, they never feel good. Well, I mean, oh Jesus. But all right. But that kind of makes me start thinking about false light again.
False light.
False light. It's fake light. Kind of like what we're doing now. You know how like everybody likes virtue signaling, and like it's a PC culture. You have to be politically correct. So you end up with a bunch of people walking around knowing what to say, like an immigrant knowing the answers to the test to become a U.S. citizen.
Right.
He's like, you have people walk around knowing what to say, but they're not saying what anything that is outside of that spectrum that they actually think, they don't say. That's fake light. That's false light. It's like, basically you're making America look beautiful, like it's advertising it. It's like, yeah, this is what we think over here. It's like, yeah, this is cool, this is fine, this, that, and the third. It's like, don't let the lights go off. It's like, we can't fight the darkness because it's all fake light. It's like, keep the lights on. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's like, please don't. I want to see.
And that's my biggest issue with what's been going on more often than not. You can't fight actual darkness with fake light. It's imitation light.
So back onto this.
It's like this right here. It's an anthem. It's gonna make people feel good, but I feel like ultimately it promotes false light. I really do. The internalizing the message that you don't need to change, the world can change its heart. Don't tell people that.
Right. And that's why I brought this up in the first place.
I'm not saying that people don't deserve to feel good about themselves, but don't tell people that. It's like, you don't have to change a thing. It's like, maybe put yourself on the table and we'll see what sticks. Because I know the things that they're talking about. It could be like a lifestyle choice. It could be like your sexuality preference. It could be any type of like special defect you may have from birth. It could be any of those things. You might have like a special type of disease or whatever it might be. And it's like some way that you stand out. Maybe like you got negative attention for any of those things at some point. And I get that. If it is something that is a part of you that you can do nothing about, there it is. That's what I was looking for. If it is something that is a part of you that you can do nothing about, then yeah, you would have to come to peace with that. You would have to, I hope that you can be at peace with yourself, the things that you can't change. But those are the things you can't change. They're saying you don't have to change a thing. Don't lie to these people.
Like, there's some things that are worth changing.
Even people who are bogged down in things that they cannot change. If you are an LGBTQ African American female, if you are the trifecta of weight in the world that we live in.
Of weight?
Yes, weight. Certain characteristics that you can be born with come with weight. Weight that you have to carry.
I thought you were being literal there for a second.
No. But thank you for questioning me so I could clarify. No, that's not, no, not literal weight. But it's like, if you're like born under that trifecta of weight and you have to live with it, it's like, it's good if you can come to terms with the things that you cannot change.
Right.
But everything else
But
about you.
it's like, don't lie to yourself and think, well, this is just who I am. There's no reason I should change.
Right, but everything else about you, the fact that you don't have an inside voice for the library, the fact that you slap anybody that talks to you when you don't want to be spoken to. Yeah, I'm
Yep.
just naming random stuff. This isn't like, I'm not talking about any specific person, but I'm talking about bad characteristics. It's like, if you're the type of person to cuss out a judge when you're on trial, or even worse, when someone you care about is on trial, why would you put the judge in a bad mood?
Seriously. It sounds like you're being very specific.
No, I'm not talking about any specific thing. I'm really bouncing
These are
around to
very
bad.
specific situations
No,
that you're talking about.
right. I'm pointing out really bad characteristics. Like, if you're the type of person to cuss out a judge, that means you don't really have a filter. You need a filter to be able to walk through certain cuts of life. It's like libraries, supermarkets, schools, your school. It's your place of business where you work. You need to be able to navigate those and not just have zero filter 100% of the time.
You will find yourself with a lot of people that have a filter for you specifically.
But that's just one. That's just one example of a bad characteristic that this song would say you don't need to change a thing. The world can change its heart. It's like, no, 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 no. Change a thing? Maybe for the sake of lyrics in the song, you would let that line slide. But to actually internalize the message, I hope you don't.
Yeah, that is one thing that I want to also cover up is like, this is just a song.
Yeah.
It should not be taken as gospel.
No, but this is an anthem. I recognize this song. I hear this song actually quite a lot, and I just never paid attention to what it was saying.
Right. But you understand now why I brought it up in the first place. Why I even brought it up in regards to what would you say? Would this be like an anthem of disillusionment?
No. Disillusionment is when you grow up and you realize that a part of the world is not what you expected it to be. It's just like, the grass was not greener on the other side. In fact, it's a little bit more brown.
Okay.
and due to you realizing that, it changes you.
So what would you call this then? This anthem?
I mean, I already broke down that it's like, the things that you cannot change, you shouldn't worry about trying to change them.
I am just looking for a word.
No, I'm trying to land on the word, because it's like, I've already talked about like the things you can't change. You shouldn't try to change those things. You should find peace with yourself. But saying that you shouldn't change a thing is very...
It's similar to stagnating, I think.
Ooh. It could be, it's like the song could promote becoming stagnant as far as your self-development.
Yes. It's like the idea that you don't really need to change, that there's nothing to improve, nothing at all. It fits quite nicely in what you're talking about. It's stagnation.
Oh, man.
Well, stagnation is an ugly way to say it. Let's be frank about that.
I don't think that's necessarily ugly. I think it's pretty direct.
But that's the thing, though, is that it's direct. If someone doesn't like what you're being direct about, then they could perceive it as ugly. Kind of like,
It's like, it's not ugly. It just hit hard. It's like, come on. It's like, come on, please.
it's like our first topic so far whenever we brought talking about women treating themselves as object, and me bringing up the fact that sounds like prostitution if you put a price tag on yourself.
Yeah, it's like, look, okay, like I said, it's like, it's not it's not ugly. It just hits hard. That's why I said it's like me saying what I said and then you taking a step forward. It's like, you can only hit them so hard for so long before you knock them out. Like, I'm saying, come on, you can take a punch. It's like, come on, you can take a punch. I didn't mean to
hit him so hard.
It's like, come on, you can take a punch. Have the conversation with me. Don't have a glass jaw verbally. And that's something that I feel like we're getting more of these days. People having glass jaws. People used to not be able to be triggered. And you know what triggering people really is? It's pushing a button. It's pushing a button that makes them wild out. And people used to not have so many buttons that would make them wild out. There's a whole bunch of buttons that you can press on a person. Rock with me for a second. You poke at people. You poke fun. You make jokes. You know this, that, and the third. You can verbally jostle somebody. Really, in fact, that was roughhousing where I was growing up in my house. We didn't physically roughhouse. We verbally roughhoused.
Okay. We didn't have that at my home. There was a lot of physical abuse going on, especially when. No,
Lord of
take it
mercy.
back. There was a
Well,
lot
I
of
mean, you are a
physical abuse when it
kickball.
came to fit. A lot of physical abuse when it came to video games as well.
Oh,
It's like
mercy.
me and my brother lived out in the sticks, so there we didn't really have a whole lot of people to pick from when it came to competition.
Mm.
And he always wanted to play games with me for whatever reason.
Oh, mercy. Well, I mean,
I
you're
did
his
not go
brother.
easy on him. I did not go easy on him.
You're
A
terrible.
lot of it. Man, you remember back in May? I remember back in Melee, washing the floor with him.
He's like, okay, you want to play? Put them dukes up.
Yeah. Mom!
He's like, bruh, you only lost one stock.
Stop it!
Like,
Come on, you got
don't
the
ask me to play the game with you and then say stop. But hold
right,
on, because we're getting further away from something that I wanted to talk about.
right.
You can verbally jostle somebody. People have things that they don't want you to bring up, and like that's their button. You don't press their button. Like the black community, a lot of people in the black community come with a pre-installed inward button.
Are you sure that's not taught? I'm pretty sure that's taught because you
Listen,
don't like
listen,
inherently.
listen. Of course, it's taught. Listen to what I'm saying, though. It's like
Okay.
whether or not a button being installed on you can be taught or something that's just kind of like not your thing, your own little personal pet peeve. That's besides the point.
Okay.
There's these buttons that can be pressed. Personally, I have most of my buttons uninstalled. They don't work anymore. That was my personal mission. Whereas given the places that I want to go in conversation and given the things that are probably going to be brought up in the harder conversations that are mandatory to have, it is best if you uninstall them buttons. But what's going on is that now people aren't being taught to cut those buttons off. In fact, what they're being taught is that the world can change its heart, Alicia Cara. No, the world will bend to fit to where it's like none of your buttons will ever be pressed. It's like, no, you need to be ready to have that button worn out.
Right.
You need to be ready for people to walk up and bash your shit 10 times.
It's like you've got 7 billion people in the world, all have their own different lives, different goals, different perspectives, and any one of them could be the one that presses your buttons. It'd be smarter in order to prepare yourself for that moment in time. Because just going through life expecting to avoid all that shit just sounds like it sounds like a bad idea.
So now we have people that they're just walking with a plethora of buttons. And like those are the people that can be triggered. They don't have any training with dealing with those buttons. In fact, they're just taught people shouldn't touch these buttons.
But they will. Those buttons will be touched.
So when they do, it's like, ah! It's like, no, come on. It's like, come on. You are literally boxing yourself out of potential topics and conversations. Like when they say, how people say words are violence. You've never been in violence. You've never been in violence if you say words are violence.
Never truly know.
WWF was popping back when I was like 4 or 5, and I went to a school that had pre-K all the way up through 12th grade, all on the same campus in close proximity. WWF was really popular before it became WWE. I mean, it only got more popular, but you know what I'm saying. It was really popular, and a lot of kids were watching that stuff. And what they did not know is that a lot of that stuff going on TV was acting. They were doing wrestling moves on children that were easy to pick up.
Right.
It's like, if you are trying to tell me that words are violence, you have not experienced violence. And it's like, it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop with people saying words are violence. They're trying to say that certain words can make people vulnerable to violence. Are you trying to say that there are conversations that are forbidden because it automatically causes physical harm to people?
That is something that is being said. It's like you talking about certain things, you triggering people with these specific words is harming people. Some would say you'd even go as far as to actually killing people because of these words.
That's a lie.
It is, but it's a lie that is very prevalent and gets preached often.
I want to know who believes this. I want to meet it's all right. So I want to meet the person that never changed anything about them ever at all, ever. And I also want to meet the person that has taken on physical harm from words or a certain conversation taking place. I want to meet both of those individuals, because I want to understand that superpower where it's like somehow I just came out fitting the mold, or like the other person where it's somehow I just have the superpower of being physically reactive whenever I hear something verbal. My body takes on damage if certain words are used. I want to meet that person so I can fully understand what it is that we're dealing with.
Then you'll end up with those people that want to say that like the emotional trauma that they experience from said word is physical damage. Like they're gonna play word games with you and be like, no, this is damage. Then what do you mean it's not
like that's
damage?
not physical damage. In fact, you should be thanking your body that it reacted like that for you. When you hold your hand over a hot stove, can you imagine if your body didn't tell you something's hot close by?
There are some people that have that little trick of their body.
Yeah, I've actually heard about it. I don't know what it's called. But that's why I brought it up. It's like, can you imagine how inconvenient it would be if your body didn't let you know something's up in the immediate area?
And even not that, just like your general bodily functions. Like imagine having to live by a timer on your hand telling you when to go piss.
Oh man, that sucks. Oh wait, that really sucks. It's like people need to be properly trained. You trying to say that these emotional feelings are causing physical harm? No, you just lack training to the point that some words almost folded you.
Words of all things.
Right. You need to train that. You need to make that stronger. I came from a house that's like, physical was non-existent in my house. So every interaction came verbally.
Now, you know what? Hold on a second. Now let's think about that though. It's like you had to train yourself in order to be able to take those hits. So if you lack the training, those things do still hit you on a technical scale. Would you agree or disagree?
It doesn't physically hit. Why? It's like I guess you would have to use a different word other than hit. It doesn't physically hit, but it's like you feel it.
Yes.
Like okay.
That's what they're focusing on.
Wait, have you ever been in a classroom with where someone just drops like a smart bomb insult? They hit somebody with an insult so hard that it shakes the classmates that it wasn't even meant for.
Oh yeah, I don't remember them, but I know I've at least seen it.
Those insults that'll make me look up from my book. It's like this.
It's like, dang.
That's why people could smell your coochie from down the hall. It's like, oh, He's like, hey, what y'all doing over there?
Teacher, I'm pretty sure that's abuse. Hold up.
Dang, why did you do that? So it's like, all right. So, but that's what I'm talking about. The roughhousing didn't come physically; it was verbally. But you need to be built for that. It's like you have to be hardened toward it. You taking it completely out of the equation, you become squishy. And that's what makes you so easily triggered. So it hinders you. That's what I'm trying to get to. It hinders you. You don't have the strength required to have certain conversations. And that hinders you in the long run. That means we can't talk about certain things. If the answer to a problem is inside of a hard conversation, people aren't going to be able to have it. So you never find the answer.
Right. So we're talking about
Alicia
not so
Cara.
much.
I'm joking.
No,
What?
no, I just no. I'm just about to say is like it's not like at least in this music video, it seems like it's less to do with actual like conversations that are more than just the person's self-image or their body. Those conversations, yes, I understand. If you're not, if you don't prepare yourself or are willing to prepare yourself for those sort of conversations, then eventually it will cripple you.
Yeah.
But at least in this music video, I understand that the anthem is supposed to be uplifting. The intention is supposed to be uplifting. There's definitely not something here, at least from my eyes, that promotes something bad. The intentions are good. They want, she wants to promote a person's self-image, their confidence. So where do you see that that could be like a full hindrance? Where would be the counterbalance to this? To make sure someone doesn't completely like negate all the bad that's actually in their lives and take it for good.
Oh, I was so serious. Find peace with the things you cannot change.
I'm talking about the things you can't. Well, all right, give me a specific example. Say someone's weight. Someone who is morbidly obese.
That is something that you can change.
Yes.
Now, people would try to bring up that one thing. What is it? Thyroids.
I have a thyroid problem. Well, then stop eating thyroids.
That's funny.
I love rush hour.
Your thyroid is a small butterfly shaped gland situated at the base of the front of your neck, just below your Adam's apple. Hormones produced by the thyroid gland, trialdotheronin,
Hold on. All right. Are you
and
streaming it?
thyroxin. Well, let me see. Thyroid problem. Thyroid disease is a general term for a medical condition that keeps your thyroid from making the right amount of hormones. Oh, your thyroid typically.
Go back to the original one. All right. Hormones produced by the thyroid glands. This, then, the third words I cannot pronounce have an enormous impact on your health, affecting all aspects of metabolism. Okay, what are these hormones? What are these specific words? They're like, what are the actual functions? This is called hyperthyroidism. Thyroidism. As I understand it, this is this thing that's actually rare in the first place.
Most of the extra weight gained in hypothyroid individuals is due to excess accumulation of salt and water. Aw, that sucks.
Massive weight gain is rarely associated with hypothyroidism.
Weight
In
gain
general,
may
5 to 10 pounds of body weight may be attributable to thyroid, depending on the severity. So even if it does affect, it's not even that much.
What percentage of people have an actual thyroid problem? What percentage of the population has thyroid problems? More than 12% of the US population will develop a thyroid condition during their lifetime. You can develop it?
I wonder if that means you can get out of it too.
The body doesn't make iodine, so it has to come from the diet. It's found naturally in foods like dairy, eggs, seafood, and soy, but not everyone around the world has access to these sources. Iodine deficiencies and resulting thyroid dysfunction has long been a major issue across the world.
Has it now?
Really? So, are people with thyroid problems, are they becoming more common because of our diet? They said dairy, eggs, seafood, and soy.
We're definitely getting more into soy. At least soy is becoming more popular, at least. As for dairy and eggs, we get a metric fuck ton of that.
But they
I
said
guess
12%. So let me see. What? What
I
percentage
think
of the population is overweight? More than 1/3 of adults in the United States have obesity. In the United States, 36.5% of adults have obesity. Another
well,
32.5% of American adults are overweight. Oh! In
we
all,
all
more
big.
than 2/3 of the adults in the United States are overweight or have obesity. Now, you know I love doing math. So they said 36.5% are obese. They have obesity.
Yes.
And they said 32.5% of American adults are overweight. 36.5 and 32.5 equals what? 69
Say it again. 36.5
and 32.5.
42.5.
Isn't that 69%?
See, 36 be 8. Yeah, yeah, it would be 69. Interesting.
Now,
Very interesting.
take the 69% of Americans
I'll say it. Gating.
and they said, and go back to the impact of thyroid disease, more than 12% of the US population will develop a thyroid condition during their lifetime. Now that's only 12%. So, to go back to what you were saying, things like weight, that is something that can be changed. That is something you can change. That's something that you have control over. The
Right.
majority, the vast majority of us have control over.
Yes. A
So,
vast majority indeed. And even then, I'm pretty like this thyroid problem, can it be fixed? Is another question, because then there'd be no excuse.
wait, let me see. Can thyroid problems be cured? Can hyperthyroidism be cured? Yes, there is a permanent treatment for hyperthyroidism. Remove your thyroid through surgery or destroying your thyroid through medication will cure hyperthyroidism. What?
So nuke the problem. Problem goes away.
Funny.
Oh, they're radioactive.
Oh, wow, hold up. It's like, can thyroid problems go away? Anti-thyroid medication, radioactive iodine, and surgery are all effective treatments and can restore thyroid function to normal.
Okay. So you don't have to blow it up.
No.
Okay.
So it can be fixed. Now, I don't know how much that costs. The surgery, radioactive iodine, anti-thyroid medication. I don't know how much that costs, but we do know apparently there's something you can do about it.
Right.
So weight is more or less something that you can control.
Yep.
What are the other issues that get in the way of losing weight?
Stubbornness, hard-headedness, people, things like the
I'm
song.
not gonna. It's like I'm not gonna write them off just yet. I don't. I don't exist over there enough. Like I don't pay it as much. I don't pay it all that much mind. That's why I'm googling a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. I'm talking about right here at this moment when it comes to thyroids because I don't look like I don't think I have a thyroid issue.
No.
My
There are
my last
definitely
physical went pretty well.
there are definitely people who are worse off than you.
I just keep hearing people bring up thyroid, thyroid, thyroid. I can't lose weight, thyroid. It's like, okay, all right. Let me see. What is this thyroid that people keep telling me about?
It's like,
Nah.
oh, there's a fix for this, and it doesn't even affect that many people in the first place.
So okay. So
So if you have the issue, there are ways to fix it.
So my question to those people would be, all right, so what comes after this? Because this isn't something that's really going to be that really has to be in the way.
It's not a permanent fixture. It's not like you have a clubbed foot.
Yeah. What are the early warning signs of thyroid issues? Fatigue, weight gain, weight loss. Slowed
What?
heart rate, increased heart rate.
What?
Sensitivity to heat, sensitivity to cold.
What are these conundrums?
I'm gonna hop off Google.
All right, so word of the day: don't believe everything on the internet.
It's like you're gonna have to do like a fair amount of digging. But I
Yeah,
mean, a
and
lot of the stuff we were looking at is like what clevelandclinic.org, thyroid.org. It's like, no, I thought the orgs and the govs were the ones that, you can would be seen as pretty reputable.
well, moving.
I used it right.
Yeah. All right. So how did we get onto this? Yeah, we were talking still about the music and people.
Things that people can change. And you had brought up
Right.
weight. Did you have another one?
Mm, no, that was like the most prevalent one that I thought of.
Mm.
Past that. So yeah, so you understand why I didn't care for this song whenever it popped up on the radio.
You
It's like,
don't have to change a thing. There are some people that are changing quite a lot.
some people need to change. There's some people that have bad habits that do need to change. Let's be fair about that. It's like say someone who loves to game, to play video game, or someone who loves to smoke, or someone who loves to get to go to the casino and gamble. It's like
Yeah.
people with an addiction, an addictive tendency, should consider changing their habits so that
You
they
don't have
don't
to change a
destroy
thing. The
themselves.
world should change its heart.
Right. And the casino should just give me all their money.
Maybe they should. Well, maybe they should.
See, now you're just underneath that whole like main character syndrome. It's like, no, this was a story meant for me. It's like everyone should just give me everything because I'm the main character. Everyone else is an NPC. Just put me on God mode already, damn it.
No.
And this is why we can't take our conversation too seriously.
Still a very serious conversation though.
Yeah. So
It's
you're
like,
not
but
gonna dismiss
that's the thing about these that's the thing about these talks. It fluctuates. It can get as light or as heavy as it needs to be. You have to be ready for that in order to have harder conversations. Yeah, there's still going to be points of levity in it, but you need to be able to deal with those heavier parts, and especially the parts that pertain to you. No, it's like nobody. Whew, no one should ever be done learning.
Doesn't that kind of go against what you were talking about the other day about the dude who went up to a certain place, got the specific job he wanted to get at like before 25, and he was good? Did you
Yeah,
say we should leave that
as
guy
far as
alone?
him achieving, as far as that person achieving their dream, they did what they wanted to do, and they made it to that point. They made it there early, even better. So now they get to enjoy that. Now, trying to get them to do more in that area of their life, you can jump off a cliff. It's like stop that. Don't bother that person. But as far as like what it doesn't necessarily go against what I'm saying right now because I can get to the position that I want to be in. That wouldn't stop me from learning different things. That wouldn't stop me from still, messing with things in my internal build because you're always coming across new stuff. That doesn't necessarily mean, oh, I mean, I achieved my dream. That means I need to try and like outdo it or do more. It's like that's completely separate.
All right.
But yeah, you should never say that like you got it all figured out. You should never carry yourself like that.
Right.
And what's worse is that people caught the opening phrase. We need to have a dialogue. We need to have a conversation. This that, and the third. But what they're conducting out there, that's not a conversation.
Yeah, what's been going on around outside just seems a little bit more aggressive. too aggressive even.
Just be frank. It's the pursuit of power. I'm not, and it's not everybody. Just the loud, hurt, and
Yeah.
the hard headed.
There are people out there that do have good intentions.
Yeah. It's
You
just
just
the
have,
loud, hurt, and the hard.
unfortunately.
It's like, really, I'm only talking about the loud, hurt, and the hard headed. And those are the people that make headlines because it's wild and outlandish. And bad news sells. I think we made a full circle.
Yep. Well, you want to call it here? We have been at this for what, more than an hour so far. Can make content
I
out of
think
this.
there's some highlights and some snippets in here. I think you know, it could. I think we could have some useful footage.
Well, y'all, thanks for coming out here.
Subscribe. It's free.
That's something that I usually don't subscribe just because I'm pretty sure some places aren't quite as free as you think.
But we're as free gets. You
Yep.
press that subscribe button, you're in. Ring that bell
Right.
as well. Because I mean, a lot of what goes on with this channel thrives off of a back and forth, not between the people that are running the channel, but the audience and the channel. A lot of it runs off of interaction with the audience.
It helps us create more content, gives us more buoys to bounce off of, so to speak. Gives us different talking points.
Right.
We do enjoy seeing other people's point of view as well.
Oh, definitely. And I guess what? A word of caution, interacting with us, much like how you can pick us apart. Yeah, some people is like we're gonna look at those comments and it's like, okay, actually I want to discuss this one at length.
Right.
This one's gonna be a video. This one's gonna be a video all on its own.
Right. But anyway, thanks for joining us, y'all.
Check the links in the description. It's like Twitch, Instagram, Twitter.
Just come join us on the areas where we're at, where we're not so having such heavy discussions.
Yeah. But at the same time, just I guess a word of advice. I normally don't even give advice. I normally just kind of say what is. But but a word of advice, get your weight up verbally. Because it's you need it. It's going to get worse. It only gets worse. You need to be ready to carry that weight.
Right.
So it's like you're actually, I wouldn't say so you're actually useful. So you can actually participate. You need to be able to take a punch, not physically.
But making sure that you have the mental capacity, the mental durability, in order to actually conversate with other people.
Right.
Like
Cut those
it's
buttons off. It's like
like
you're not doomed to be triggered. That's not a diagnosable disease. He's like, I suffer from triggerlocusis. He's like, what is triggerlocusis? He's like, I'm just doomed to be triggered at any given moment. It's like, what?
Terrible existence.
Right. It's like, I'm just doomed to be. Nobody's doomed to be triggered. Just get your weight up verbally.
And good luck, y'all.
We have nothing but love for y'all. I'm Black.
I'm Ball.
And it's this long. You guys have a good one.